Welcome to Wellington Family Speedway. We are here for the Cyclocross National Championships, kicking off with the junior men. That is the first race of the day before we head into the junior women, an exciting event because it's the first time we've crowned a national junior women's title, followed by the elite women, and then wrapping up with the elite and under 23 men at the end of the day. Stay tuned for all the racing action. This event that you are stood in today is up on the UCI website, and we are kicking off the cyclocross calendar around the world. Get ready to make a lot of noise, people, because this is about to go down. Cyclocross Nationals. Because this counts for next year. We align with the Northern Hemisphere, and off they go. Getting a hard start from the gun. And we see them take that right-hand corner, lining up, and already the field is getting a bit spread apart. And squaring up to the barriers. We haven't seen anyone attempting to bunny hop the barriers yet. Full UCI height barriers. And again, we see everybody dismounting, taking the safer option. And then they move around those tight chicanes, duck under that flyover, and then they head out across the far side of the paddock around the tree where the ground is very wet. They're just heading left past the club rooms there. That's a fast section of sealed road. Earlier on in the day, we saw the Masters racers really hugging the barriers and trying to get as much fresh green grass to ride on as possible. So a lot of that has been pushed down. The mud's risen to the surface and there's not much green grip left out there. Oh, and here they come. I can see them appearing on that camber, and it looks like we've got a bunch of riders together. Interesting to see some people are electing to dismount early and run that lower off camber section, and some people are riding it and then dismounting later in the piece. And it's number 152, Cohen Nickel. This is what we saw at North Island. Cohen pushed out hard. Maui had to close the gap, and it went right down to the last few hundred meters of their race. And Cohen's lap time was a 9:01, so you were right on the money, Greg. The course has got slower since this morning. It's looking moderately heavy. We've certainly had heavier at Hut Cross, but we've also had a little drier. So it's nicely in the middle. A solid 5 out of 10 heaviness. Oh, we've got a rider appearing into view, and it looks a lot like Cohen Nickel to me.
Early dismount there into the bottom of the stairs. I think that descent is getting really cut up and probably quite hard to break into the bottom of. So smart move. Go for the fastest time off this looking time.
So some people opting for a dirty side dismount, and some people opting for a standard dismount and then running around the bike slightly slower. If you can get off chain side, then you're probably going to save yourself a fraction of a second, but it is more awkward. And we do see Maui doing a dirty side dismount. Nice remount. Grabs that small descent. There's really not much vertical change on this course. In fact, the largest time would be the flyover. And while you may think a less hilly course is easier, personally as a racer, I always found them harder because there's no respite, there's no downhill. I was just talking to some fellas from Christchurch, and they said this is different to what they're used to. They don't ride in this amount of heavy mud, they tend to ride in sand. Here we go, this is Cohen. So again, dismount early, running that descent, not going for the dirty side dismount option, but he does have time up his sleeve. Sweet remount. He looks so composed coming past. The other guys are really on the limit, but he just looks in his element today. He'll drop back into the arena, give this man a huge amount of support. He is gonna take home a third jersey. Yeah, there was a small smile creep across his face. And here we go, this is Maui Morrison, and he is gonna take the silver medal in junior men's. I'll let you put that on, sir.
Thank you.
We will be seeing the elite and junior women going together. Right, so everyone's eyes front. Get ready to make a huge amount of noise, people. And they're away. All women are on course. Right, Greg, over to you. Let's have a little chat about who we need to look out for.
Well, you know as well as anyone, Tim, that Kate McElroy brings an engine that wouldn't be out of place on the speedway at Bourbon and Mullet Night. But Sammy Maxwell's led out early, and she's also been strong at Hut Cross racing this winter as they get into the mud and you see them both dismount and run. Now, Kate McElroy, massive advantage when she's running. Former Olympian, 3,000 metre steeplechaser. That is not going to go missing.
Kate McElroy is consistent as. That woman has got endurance for days. But down in Christchurch for the cross-country championships, Kate came off second best to Sammy Maxwell, so these two have raced each other before. And the junior women, Shauna Gray and Annabelle Bly, I predict they are going to be a fair way up the elite field. So just a lowdown on how this is going to work. Junior women raced for 40 minutes. Elite and under 23 women raced for 50 minutes. Looks like Sammy Maxwell is at the front. So it is Sammy Maxwell, Myra Moller on my bike, and Kate McElroy. Make noise for these women. Oh, Kate's looking composed though. That's never a sign of anything I wanted on my wheel. Kate McElroy looking composed. Then we've got Mary Ann Moller. Go, Sammy is absolutely smashing herself, and she has got firm control of that U23 jersey. And Sammy Maxwell knocked that out in 9:51. So it's not down to me, it's down to the commissaires, but my guess is it's going to be a 5-lap race. The crowd is going off this women's race. Kate McElroy and Sammy Maxwell neck and neck. Myra Moller with about 23 seconds ahead of Judy Cheng. Meanwhile, that's the junior women, and there's just a couple of bike lengths between them. And I'll tell you what, I know how Sammy Maxwell feels right now because I was on the receiving end of that in Christchurch in 2019. And having raced with Kate, I'll have to say, like, technically, I felt like I could hold my own, but as soon as the course opened up, that woman has got watts to burn. Literally, you know, we're at the Speedway, and as you mentioned earlier, that's kind of an appropriate place for the 3-time Olympian. Also worth remembering that Sammy is still under 23. So currently she would take the U23 jersey. One lap to go, 2.8 kilometers. That's not a lot of real estate to make changes in your position. You really need the leader to mess up unless you're right together and you can put a bit of pressure on the other one. I nearly missed you. Give me a hug. You're New Zealand's first junior woman with a jersey. I'm like so stoked that you've got a jersey to wear. So I'm here with Shauna Gray, New Zealand's first ever sanctioned junior cyclocross national champion. Shauna, you and Annabelle had an incredible race. How did that feel out there?
It was really tough and the course was really hard, especially with all the mud.
So and what do you really think of the course in terms of the favourite bits or where your strengths lay?
Oh, I was definitely really glad with the racetrack. That was definitely, I think, my strength.
And Annabelle, how does this compare to down in Christchurch?
Oh, it's pretty muddy. It's a lot muddier. Mud's quite a bit thicker. Yeah, it was pretty tough out there.
Sammy got an absolute flyer at the start, and I didn't have the best clip in, had a bit of a moment, so had a bit of catch up to do in the first K basically, and then for the first 2 laps she really put the pace down, and I knew she'd have it over me on the technical section, so I was just trying to play to my strengths, which was obviously the big open sections, and put down some road power, and first 2 laps was close, and then I managed to get a little gap in the 3rd lap and then just managed to open it up from there.
Yeah, the commentary team made some remarks about wattage around the speedway being a forte of yours. And Sammy, you were making light work of the technical section. How did that feel?
Oh, pretty good. Like Kate said, that was my strong point, so I was trying to play to it. I was bluffing a bit on the first laps, hoping maybe it's a bit muddy and Kate's bike might fall apart, but that's racing, and she played amazing. She did so well, yeah.
And you both take home national jerseys because, Kate, you've won the elite one. Sammy, you get elite points, but you get a U23 jersey to take home. What does it mean to you to have those jerseys available in cyclocross?
Oh, look, it's a huge honour, and I think just the fact that we've got the opportunity to get the jersey now, thanks to your hard work, Kim, it's not only for me but for the younger woman coming through, and I think it showed today by the numbers that were on the start line, so it's awesome.
The chief commissaire has moved off the course, so they'll be starting very soon. Get ready to make a lot of noise as these men hit the course, everyone. And they're away. So that does look like Brendan Sharrett at the front in the orange, if I am not mistaken. We've had Hut Cross crew circulating all day, making repairs as they go. The biggest effort was first thing this morning when we had extra members from the community out helping us repair the wind damage. Very proud of the presentation of this course. come, here we come. Oh, it's Brendan Sharrett off the front, and he's elected an early run. Oh my goodness, it is so close. It's Brendan Sharrett, Jacob Turner. Sam Shaw in fourth. Oh, Henry James, Callum Kennedy right up in the mix. Yeah, Greg, this is all on. Everybody's getting their 10,000 steps in today. Yeah, I think this is the hardest we've seen Sam working, but he's reconnecting. They're all together. And Brendan looks comfortable. Oh, here we go. So positions have switched. Oh, Brendan is right back there.
Yeah, Brendan
Brendan is right with them.
And he's right back in it.
Oh my gosh.
Josh Burnett just creating a little gap on the remount there.
Brendan, I tell you what, this is what I was saying. Brendan knows how not to burn matches. He knows where he's at. Look at that. That is our podium right there. Yeah, and all three of them are together through the barriers, Greg. But nevertheless, they will get the bell on the next lap. And if they're still together, you'd have to imagine it's going to go down to a sprint. Yeah, Josh Burnett is not taking it lying down. He's reconnected immediately. Josh, I think, is actually a little quicker on that run up, which could play into his favour when they get the bell. He's looking a lot muddier though, so I'd say he's been sitting in more than Sam Shaw has. Yeah, 2.8 kilometres away from knowing who our men's national champion is, and that gap between those leading two and Brendan has opened wide. Then they're going to duck under the flyover, head around that tree, and this will be the last time that we see them in the paddock before we welcome them back in the final run-in to the line. How hard is 50 minutes in a cyclocross race compared to on the road?
Yeah, I mean, it's completely different. This is pretty similar to like an XCO sort of race, but I mean, when it's quite soft and grippy like this, there's no descents leading up. It's just 50 minutes pedaling as hard as you can on your limit with a bit of running, which is different.
And you've had U23 national titles before in cross country. In fact, I've been MC at a couple of those moments. And what does it feel like to have an elite jersey on your back?
Yeah, I haven't really had too much time to think about it, but yeah, being in my last year under 23, it's pretty cool to be able to take out both titles. And yeah, I'm just really grateful for James Kenny and New Zealand Cycling Project for everything they do for me. Yeah, it's a really good setup, and they just love getting amongst every type of bike racing, which is cool. And yeah, it's the future. If you look at the World Tour and the guys who are doing well there, they're doing everything. So I think, yeah, more people should come and try this out for sure.
Brendan, what do you think the future of cyclocross looks like in New Zealand?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. I believe it could be probably one of the bigger codes in New Zealand. I mean, mountain biking, road, hopefully more guys like, Josh and his friends and come along next year and just keep pounding it. There's a lot of opportunities overseas we can all get involved in, and the youth, and yeah, it'd be great.
And we've seen full podiums in men's and women's races, even right down to under 15 today. So I agree with both of these guys. The future is bright, and the future is no longer tiger stripes because it's a fern. Well done, Josh, and all the best taking that home.
Perfect, thanks heaps, Kim.